So we're going to work on number 17. Which is x equals f of x over 9x squared minus 4. So we have to find the zeros. To find the zeros, it's going to be for the you have to factor the denominator since it's a fraction. So 9x squared minus 4 is factored into 3x minus 2 and 3x plus 2. Now you take these two factors and you set them to 0. Now you solve for x. First we're going to do is move the 2 there. This one we're going to minus the 2 there. And then we're going to divide by 3 on each side. So x is 2/3 and x equals negative 2/3. Now if you plug these two numbers into the original equation, 9 x is 2/3, 2/3 squared minus 4. If you solve for that, so 9 times 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, minus 4 equals 0. If you cancel these out, it's going to be 4 minus 4 equals 0. So x does not equal 2/3. And you have to check the other one. 9 times negative 2/3 squared minus 4. If you simplify it, negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 3 squared is 9, so 9 times 4 ninths minus 4. It's the same thing, 4 minus 4 equals 0. So x does not equal negative 2/3 because you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. You cannot divide any number, 1 divided by 0. This is an error. So it cannot be 2/3. So x equals 0. Only 0 will work. Moving on to the next problem. X squared minus 9x plus 14 divided by 4x equals f of x. So here we have 4x on the bottom, but we have this polynomial on top. Well, I can't factor this off the top of my head. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So b or a equals 1 because there's a 1 in here. B equals negative 9 and c equals 14. I'm going to plug those numbers in. So negative b is going to be negative 9 plus or minus negative 9 squared minus 4 from our quadratic formula times a, which is 1, and times c, all divided by 2 times 1. So if you solve for all this, negative 9 is going to be positive 9, plus or minus negative 9 squared is 81, minus 4 times 1 times 14 is 56, all over 2. We're going to keep going. 9 plus or minus the square root of 81 minus 56 is 25, all over 2. So we have two solutions, 9 plus 5 over 2 and 9 minus 5 over 2. 9 plus 5 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. 9 minus 5 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. So this one we get two answers. So x equals 7 and x equals 2. You cannot use 0. X does not equal 0 because in our original problem you have a 4x. So if you put 4 times 0, that is 0. You cannot have a 0 in the denominator. Cannot. So the denominator, so it's x, your answers are x equals 7 and 2. X does not equal 0. You have to specify that because you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. So our third problem, which is number 20, f of x equals x cubed minus 4x squared minus 9x plus 36. So this 2 right here, there's the x squared and the x cubed. So we could take out the x squared, and that would be x squared times x minus 4. On the next one, there's a 9 and a 36. Well, 9 and 36 is a factor of 4. So you take out the 9, so now you multiply that as x, and then plus, or minus 4, because it's going to be a positive 36, equals 0. So let me just rewrite all that. X squared minus x minus 4 minus 9 times x minus 4 equals 0. We have 2 common here, which is the x minus 4. So we can combine that, x minus 4. And here we have the x squared and minus 9. So this is our factor. Now, we can take these two and set them both to 0. And then we just simply solve for x. X squared equals 9. X equals 4. Square root. X equals 3. Or x equals negative 3. And this one is just x equals 4. So our 3 zeros are x equals 3, x equals minus 3, and x equals 4.